Good afternoon. Welcome to Long Live Third Parties podcast. Free Press Media Press Inc., a third parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard. Today I read the case, Matter of Pulver versus Ellen, 242 AD 2D 398, New York Appellate Division, 3rd Department, 1997. Friends, today we're going to talk about our favorite subject, third parties. This does involve the Republican Party, but it involves a third party, so we pay attention. What happened here? Let's read from the record. It says, quote, Petitioner, as a resident of the town of Queensbury in Warren County, commenced these proceedings pursuant to Election Law 16-102, challenging the sufficiency of the designated petitions naming Respondent Fred Champagne as the Republican Party and the Conservative Party candidate for town supervisor of the town of Queensbury in the upcoming 1997 primary election. The facts as they pertain to the designated petitions are not in dispute. After obtaining the signatures of the registered voters on the respective petitions, the subscribing witnesses neglected to provide their residence addresses on the statement of witness portion of the petitions prior to signing their names. It is uncontroverted that the designated petitions provided to Champagne and to other prospective candidates did not contain a space for the subscribing witnesses to fill in their residence addresses. However, the challenged designated petitions did specify the residence within the town of Queensbury, Warren County. The petitions were delivered to the office of the Warren County Board of Elections in such form. Therefore, a person other than one of the subscribing witnesses inserted their residence addresses by hand. This information, albeit correct, was inserted outside the presence of the subscribing witnesses and was not initialed by them. End quote. This does not seem fair. The forms did not contain a space for the needed information, yet they're trying to hold this against them for not putting the needed information in a space they did not provide. And according to this, they did have the right residency. So they discuss the law in this case, and they also discuss whether this was fraud. And they say it does not look like fraud. And they also say, even though this was not done perfectly, it's not what they call, quote, a fatal defect, end quote. Therefore, they say it does not mean that these petitions have to be struck. They also note the following quote, Furthermore, examination of the petitions reveals that each subscribing witness declared his or her residence to be within the town of Queensbury, Warren County. In this town supervisor race, that identification information is sufficient to clearly demonstrate that each is a resident of the political subdivision in which the office is to be voted for. Election Law 6-132, brackets 2. Since all of the subsequent requirements of witness eligibility have been satisfied, we view the omission of the specific street addresses in this instance as an inconsequential violation of the statute. Where such violation of the election law occurs and there is no implication of fraud, resort to strict construction should be avoided if it would lead to injustice in the electoral process or the public perception of it. Adjudge that the petitions are dismissed without cause and the designated petitions naming Respondent Fred Champagne as the Republican Party and Conservative Party candidate for the office of Town Supervisor of the town of Queensbury in the September 9th, 1997 primary election are declared valid. End quote. Guess what, friends? September 9th is my birthday. In 1997, I was how old? 19. So it was good that a third party got on the ballot. The Republican Party, we don't care about that party on the ballot. We've talked about fusion voting on this podcast before, and since some third parties view it as a valid tactic, even though I wouldn't pursue it myself, we are going to legitimize it. So if Fred Champagne deemed his best bet to get on the ballot was to run under both the Republican Party and the Conservative Party, then we shall grant him the benefit of the doubt. And we celebrate the Conservative Party part of getting on the ballot. We lean progressive here. Still, we support conservative third parties. We love third parties, whether progressive or conservative or moderate. So we want to see the Conservative Party getting on the ballot. It's good the court had wisdom here, and they exercised wisdom in suggesting that the mistake on those forms, trying to hold that against them, was not cause to strike the ballots. So we want to celebrate this. Friends, may this inspire you. Long live third parties. Goodbye.